YouTube, what's up? It's your boy Sly Huncho, and I'm back with another video. We about to go crazy. We about to do a high drop fade on my client. I'm about to show y'all how to go from this to a blurry drop fade like this. Alright? So my client, he wears his do-rag a lot, and you can tell by the irritation on the back of his head. Alright, so when you a waver, please do not wear your do-rag that much. Or if you do wear your do-rag a lot, at least let it air out once or twice a day. You know what I'm saying? Just wear your waves out, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so I'm going to cut my client's hair down on the crown area with a 3 guard. Then I'm going to cut his hair down with a 2 3/4 detachable guard. I like the detachables when I'm leaving the hair as thick as possible with wavers because it cuts the hair down smoother and I feel like it lays it down the best. As you can see, my boy is a serious waver and his shit is spinning. With the detachables, you want to be careful. You want to cut with the way the hair grows because if you mess up and cut the way the hair doesn't grow, the hair is going to start looking spacious. And on the right side of my client's hair, his hair is a different texture. It kind of grows diagonal left. You know what I'm saying? So I brush his hair and I go back over the hair just to make sure I got all the hair. Then I go on my Babyliss and I set my first guideline. So when you're doing the guideline for a high drop fade, you want to cut through the C cup. That's what's going to make it a high drop fade, and it's going to drop below the occipital bone. But when I drop his, I want to drop it close to where that irritation mark is so I can blend it in good. Then I go in and I debulk with my 2. I go up about 2 inches. It leaves me room for my 1 and my open guard. But it's going to make it way easier for me to cut the hair. So I go in with no guard on, open, and I go about 1 inch. And I'm just flicking out, creating my second guideline. Making sure I follow that first guideline with the drop. Then you see me flicking out that line, blending it in. After I blend that in, I go up about 1 inch with my 1 guard open. I'm just creating the next guideline. So with this fade, I did his in sections. You can always go all the way around his head and create his guideline. But some haircuts I do in sections. Some haircuts I go all the way around and set my guidelines in first and then blend it in. There's really no right way to do it. It's whatever you feel comfortable with doing. And as you can see, the fade is coming together. And I'm trying to blend in that deep line with a 2. For the most part, the line is going to come out, but I go back and I start flicking out, trying to get the line out with a 1 1/2. Alright, so now we go to the back. You see me debulking? So the more I cut down his hair, the more the irritation spot comes out. So I'm going to make sure I fade the back real good and it blends in with the line. So funny thing is, I have another client that's his friend. He has the same problem, but he made his go away by not wearing his durag as much. It's completely reversible. You just gotta really take care of that spot and make sure you're not wearing your durag too tight or too much, and make sure you're brushing or combing in that area.
Quit busting up my speakers!
Alright, so we go to the other side. I debulk first, but you can see that his hair does grow in a different way, and his hair is a different texture on this side. So when you run into clients like this, it might be harder to fade, but you just gotta angle your clippers against the grain in the way his hair is growing. So his hair is growing diagonal left downward, so I'm gonna go diagonal right upward whenever I start flicking and blending in the fade. You're gonna see me doing it, and I'm just using my corners to blend in the fade. You see what I'm saying? How his hair grows a different way? These be the tough clients to cut, really. Well, it's not really tough, it just takes more work to fade in, make sure it blends and goes with the rest of the fade. It ain't too bad, you just gotta be patient with blending. Don't try to dig in, you just wanna keep following your system and try to blend in everything. And then you want to check everywhere just to see if there's any spots that you missed. Make sure you blend those in. There's no limit to the amount of times you can check a haircut. You can check it as many times as you want just to make sure you get the haircut perfect.
Quit busting
So when I spray holding spray on each of my clients' hair, I'll lay it down while I'm blow drying it with my finger, just to lay down any loose hairs or any hair that's curling up. Then I'm just freehanding over it, getting the rest of the loose hair. So when lining somebody up, you want to start in the middle, and you want to use half of your blade. So you want to pay attention to the client's forehead. So some clients' forehead alters their hairline. So some forehead has indentions, some are rounded than others, some have knots, different things make their hairline come out different ways. So you want to pay attention to that and make sure you get the hairline straight with the forehead. And then when I'm using my enhancement, I use Tomb 45. His hair is like a dark brown, so I use dark brown, and I'm going to use dark brown topics too. And I don't just go in and just spray, I like tap my gun just so it sprays lightly. So when I'm using a pencil, depending on the person's skin color, I use both colors. I use light brown and I use white, just because the brown is going to be too dark, but the white is going to be too light. So a combination of them both is going to make it pop real good, and it's going to go with his skin color. You see me going back over the line just to blend the pencil in some more. Then after that, I go in my razor and make sure I get the line as crispy as possible. So at the end, when I'm done, I always apply a pomade or some type of oil to the waver's head just to add that shine to it, and I go over it with the plastic bag, or I got this plastic bag with a handle on there from the Wave Essentials. They lay down the hair, and then I'll go over it with shears just to get any loose hairs. And here's the finished result, a high drop fade. I can't say I didn't change that man's life. Blend it in the irritation. Make sure y'all like, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see y'all next time.